So you want to buy an i8. Taking it right out of the books of Fitman Industries, I do apologize, but I've been waiting for you guys to do a video on the i8 for so long, but you haven't been doing it. You want to buy an i8. What you should know, what is there about this car? A small introduction. The i8 was first introduced in 2014 and it was discontinued in 2022. Now, there are two models of the i8. There's the i8 Roadster and there's the i8 Coupe, which we see right here in front of us. We're going to give you an in-depth review on what to expect when purchasing an i8, what to look out for, what options are available on the car, and what you need to know before you get your hands on one of these beautiful machines. Now, one of the things that you need to consider before you purchase an i8 is which model you want. There are two models available. There's the Roadster and there's the Coupe. Now, the Roadster is way more rare than the Coupe because there's only 4,000 of them ever made. The Coupe, on the other hand, is readily available more than the Roadster with almost 12,000 units produced. Now, the cockpit of the vehicle is made completely out of carbon fiber. You can see the carbon fiber everywhere on the doors, on the seals, and everywhere inside the vehicle as well. Now, the proper way to sit in an i8 is not like you would do in any different car. First of all, you need to watch out not to hit your head, and the easiest way to get into this car is just to sit on the pillar. Be careful not to touch it with your shoes so that you wouldn't scrape it or scratch it, all right? Especially the carbon fiber bits. So what you do is you need to do a trust fall. Once you are inside the vehicle, you need to very carefully maneuver your legs into the driving position. You can close your door and be on your way. Now, before we come to a conclusion on this car, let's go on a drive and figure out how it drives. This is my own personal car. I've been driving it for 6 months. So here's an in-depth review as how it is to drive the vehicle and how it feels to be inside the driver's seat of an i8. So when it comes to driving the i8, it's a surreal experience. First of all, right now, as you can notice, we're driving it in electric mode. Now, with a flip of a switch, we can turn on the engine and we can start driving manual, which makes it way more aggressive. But one thing that the i8 lacks is the power. Power plant is a 1.3 liter 3-cylinder in the back, and you have an electric engine up front. Buying this i8, you need to know what you're going into. If you're going into the purchasing process thinking that you're going to be purchasing a vehicle which is an equivalent to a supercar, you are dead wrong. Even though the prices were supercar prices. Back then, when this was new, you were paying about $140,000 for one, which is up there with used Lambos, used Ferraris and McLarens, but you do not get the performance of these cars from it. Now, it has a lot of special things like the carbon fiber tub, everything is carbon fiber, the door seals are carbon fiber, there are a lot of carbon fiber in the interior as well. Now when it comes to range, you don't have much range with the electric mode. You'll get a maximum of 25 kilometers if you're lucky and have it fully charged. Now I usually don't charge the vehicle, I just leave it as it is, and when I'm driving it in sports mode, it will fill up the batteries by itself. Now, doing that, you will get about 15 to 18 kilometers max range on the electric mode if you're lucky. But this car is not made for you to be able to drive it in electric mode. The electric engines are more there to assist you rather than be the economy system that everybody thinks it is. Now, to launch the i8, what you could simply do is you could put it into sports mode and then shift it down to manual, turn off the traction control and make sure that you have one foot on the brake and the other on the gas. You let it rev up till about 2000 and then you let go. Now you can see it has a good pull to it. It's not a small car, it's not a slow car in any sense of the way. We're already doing 150 kilometers an hour within a couple of seconds. It's not slow by any means, but the looks of the car, the technology in the car and the way the car has been built in general makes you yearn for more, makes you want to more out of this car. Now, a lot of things that you could do with any other supercar that you cannot probably do within the i8, one of them being is drifting. You cannot drift this car, you cannot burn rubber on this car, and the simple fact for that is because the car is four-wheel drive and it does not have the ample power to do so. So any type of shenanigans that you might want to do with the car is not going to be available to you, even though looks might be deceiving, and this looks like a car that could be equal to Ferrari or a Lamborghini or even the Mercedes AMG GT. It's just not there. It's a beautiful car, it's a daily car, and that's about it. There is nothing more to this car to be done than to drive it happily. So if you're an enthusiast who's looking for a car that they can take to the track, put it on twisty roads, may have great handling and great feelings in it, no, this is not that car. This is a car that is beautiful, that is somewhat faster than regular cars, and it will put a smile on your face just driving it. Putting it out of its comfort zone and pushing it is not gonna make the car any good. You're gonna be disappointed with it, especially if you're talking on stock wheels, stock suspension system. It's gonna be everywhere. It's not gonna be good at all. Now, after owning this car for almost a year, I am very happy. In 2024, this car still has a lot of options that newer models do not have it, or if you do want them to have it, they're gonna come in as optional. It has parking assist, it has 360 cameras, it has braking systems which help you when you're driving and you didn't see a vehicle coming towards you or didn't notice a vehicle stopping in front of you. It will stop the car. It has a lot of features that make life easy for you. It's not race dedicated, it's not a track car, it's not a supercar which focuses on weight reduction and focuses on that extra second you're gonna get. It focuses more on the amenities of comfort of daily driving. The sound system in the car is beautiful. It's Harman Kardon. It's a very reputable company. You have your infotainment system. While it might be lacking after literal 10 years of it being in the car, it might be lacking a couple of things, but nothing unfixable, nothing that you cannot change for a couple of $100s. You can add Apple CarPlay, you can add Android Auto, you can even change the screen as a whole and turn it into a touch screen, which brings it up more up to date with other vehicles or more modern vehicles. Other than that, we have the heated leather seats, we have air conditioning, everything works perfectly fine. You have laser headlights which help you out when you're driving. You don't need to use your high beams, it will automatically turn them on and off when it detects a car or not. It's a comfortable car is what I'm trying to say. A couple of things that might annoy you in the car is getting in and out of it. Getting into this car is something that takes learning. There's a learning curve that you need to go through so that you could be capable of sitting and exiting the car without looking like an idiot. Getting in and out of this car is such a chore that at some points, as you all know, I own another BMW, the 3 Series. It comes to a point where it is such a chore to get in and out of this vehicle that at the end of the day, I just take the 3 Series instead of the i8 because I don't want to go through the hassle of going in and out of this car. And it is a very low car. It's not helping you in any way. And if you're anything like me and you're a bit out of shape, it just adds to the difficulty of getting in and out of this vehicle. Another thing to take into consideration if you are in the market to purchase an i8, this vehicle grabs all the attention. You cannot imagine how much attention grabbing this vehicle is. Everybody from young people to elderlies to girls and boys, whoever it is, people who are into cars or don't care about cars, everybody is going to be looking at you no matter what you do. And you might say, well, yeah, I want the attention, I like the attention. Trust me, you will get tired of it. It's very, very tiring when wherever you go, whenever you go, there's always gonna be people staring at you, especially if you open the doors. Once you've opened the doors on the car, that's it. Once we were at the car show and there was an Aston Martin standing next to me, and even though the Aston Martin is better than my car in every single way, it has a V8, it also has a carbon tub, it was red, and it was just seeking attention. Everybody's attention was on the i8 with its open doors, especially after I opened the hood, which is a two-person job. You can't just do it by yourself. Everybody was looking at the i8 and nobody was paying attention to the Aston Martin. The same thing happened one time when I was in the city. I parked the car and next to me was standing a Huracan. Nobody was taking pictures of the Huracan and everybody was just looking at the i8 because it looks weird, it's different. You don't see these types of BMWs. When you think of a BMW, you think the 5 Series, the 3 Series, the 7 Series, the X6, the X5. This is something different, especially coming from BMW. And it's not like there's many of these things around for people to see. Total build was about 16,000, 4,000 of which were the cabriolets and 12,000 were the coupes. So it's not a readily available vehicle. You can't just see it. Comparing it to a Huracan maybe, the numbers are quite different. Way more Huracans were built than there has been i8s. And that gives it the edge when it comes to people staring and looking at it. And if you're considering buying an i8, you should also consider maintenance. Now, maintenance on the i8 is very, very expensive. Every single part that there is costs double or triple what a regular car would. For example, a set of headlights would cost you anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000. A bumper would cost you anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000. And there is no aftermarket for the car. You can't just go and purchase modifications or spare parts made elsewhere with another company, an aftermarket company. And even when there are aftermarket companies making parts for the vehicle, and they are always extremely expensive. And the reason for that being because development of parts on cars, usually how the market works is if there's an aftermarket for a car, they develop the product and the prices are high until people start purchasing it, and the more people purchase those aftermarket parts, the cheaper the prices become. But since the vehicle is not readily available for everybody, and there are a lot of purists who do not want to change the look or have aftermarket parts or any part that is not OEM on the vehicle, the prices of aftermarket products are extremely high and sometimes not even worth the trouble. So in conclusion, if you want to buy an i8, me personally, for the price that they were selling when they were new, I would never consider to purchase an i8. But for what prices on the market are right now, I do not believe that there is a better hybrid daily solution that you can find that looks this good, that feels this good, and can compare anywhere to the i8. The closest thing to it is gonna be the Honda NSX, and even that goes for double or triple the price that one of those i8s are going for right now. So if you're considering to buying an i8, make sure that you have enough put aside for maintenance if needs to be. Make sure that you have enough put aside for maintenance for the car. Other than that, you're gonna have a fantastic time as long as you're not into tracking the car or racing or dragging or drifting. It is a beautiful car to daily. You will have a lot of fun with it, and I do suggest you get your hands on one of the BMW's i8s.